and I just want to read a few verses to you here of it. It's found in Mark chapter 14, and we're reading from verses 3 to 9 of this. It's a very well-known story, the story of the lady who came, Mary, to anoint Jesus. While Jesus was in Bethany, reclining at the table in the home of a man known as Simon the leper, a woman came with an alabaster jar of very expensive perfume, made of pure nard. She broke the jar and poured the perfume on his head. Some of those present were saying indignantly to one another, "Why this waste of perfume? It could have been sold for more than a year's wages and the money given to the poor." And they rebuked her harshly. "Leave her alone," said Jesus. "Why are you bothering her? She has done a beautiful thing to me. The poor you will always have with you, and you can help them at any time you want, but you will not always have me. She did what she could. She poured perfume on my body beforehand to prepare for my burial. I tell you the truth, wherever this gospel is preached throughout the world, what she has done will be told in memory of her." Amen. And we know that God will bless His word to us. Because as we read the scriptures, we are told that Jesus lived a perfect life, that He might die a perfect death. As 1 Corinthians says, or 2 Corinthians 5:21 says, "He who knew no sin became sin for us, that we might become the righteousness of God in Him." He was born for us. He lived and died for us. He was raised for us. Jesus came out on that first Easter morning of death's dungeon, holding the door, as it were, on one hand and the keys in the other, that He might for us take the sting out of death. But what am I doing for Jesus tonight? Or if you want to go by the type of a sermon as it's on PowerPoint there, what does it take to serve Jesus? And I would suggest 4 things to you this evening. The first thing I would suggest is this. First of all, if I am going to serve Jesus, it takes a sensitive spirit to serve Him. So that's the first thing. It takes a sensitive spirit to serve Jesus. Secondly, and we'll move quickly on. Secondly, it takes a sacrificial spirit to serve Jesus. Verse 3 reads there, "And being in Bethany at the house of Simon the leper, Jesus sat down at the table. A woman came having an alabaster flask of costly pure nard, and she broke the flask and poured it over his head." Thirdly, what does it take to serve Jesus? It takes a steadfast spirit. And I'll explain this as we go along. Someone who is going to stand on their ground, on their own 2 feet. Someone who is going to stand firm. See, that day when Mary broke that jar of oil and poured that all over Jesus' body, she was thinking only of Jesus. But isn't it interesting that before the very last drop hit the floor, and I like this was from a commentator, she had to withstand, this is what he says, "a withering blast of critical fire from a hypocritical furnace." There's quite a statement, isn't it? A withering blast of critical fire from a hypocritical furnace. But I want you to notice how Mary handles the criticism. How does she handle the criticism? She does a very wise thing. And sometimes maybe I and others maybe we need to learn this. Do what she does. She just keeps quiet. And lets Jesus defend her. I like that. She keeps quiet and lets Jesus defend her. It takes, fourthly, a servant's spirit to serve Jesus. Notice the simple statement that Jesus made, which speaks volumes about what Mary did. It's in verse 8a. He says, "She did what she could."